What up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 4 of Curated Topics, brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. So today we have Candle of the Evening. Hope y'all can see that. A little bit of glare, but Hennessy, very special. This is the NBA edition. Oh yeah. And the scent right here. Whoo! Smells beautiful. This scent is actually a cologne scent. It is called Burberry for Men. I love this scent. This is probably my second favorite cologne scent. It's so nice. It's very pungent, very aromatic. Gives you that Burberry feel when you smell it. Oh, it's so great. Check us out at curatedsenseLLC.com and check out our Instagram. That's curated_sense_LLC. Promise, you try one of these, you're gonna love them. For those of you all who like cologne scents, who you want to smell like a grown man, you know what I'm saying? Try one of these out, man. This Burberry for Men, this is the perfect example that you are gonna smell like a grown dang man. All right, so today we're gonna start with a little bit of motivation, and I want to talk about life. A lot of us, at times, we think that life is just supposed to be linear, and what do I mean by that? I mean that our life is supposed to go in this straight line. By this age I'm gonna have this done. By this age I'm gonna be, married or having children or just things like that. That's how we plan out our lives. We sit down and we put it in a straight line, and we have our accomplishments lined up, in a straight line. It's clear cut. I'm gonna do this by this time, this by this time. But as we experience life and as we learn, first of all, life doesn't always go by our plans. But more importantly, life isn't linear. Things don't happen for us in a straight line. And although we can have a plan for our lives and when we would like to do things and when we would like to have things, accomplished and finished and things like that, life tends to throw us curveballs. We have ups, we have downs. And what do I mean by that? That means we have our highs and our lows. We also have twists and turns. And with those twists and turns, sometimes they can be challenges. Sometimes, we can have things like health setbacks. We have all sorts of things where, we thought we were going to be moving forward, have to take a step back, have to restart, have to switch things up, and what determines whether or not you are successful, first, your ability to learn from what's going on. What's happening in your life? How can you learn to adapt to it? How can you learn in order to change your situation? How can you learn in order to correct that mistake? You have to look at the things that life is trying to show you and kind of go by them. You can't be stubborn and want to stick in your own way, because then you'll just get in your own way. Going about life, you have to be able to pick out, all right, this is trying to tell me this. And sometimes we need help with that, and that's where we got to meet with other people. We have to seek out advice and things like that. But the ability to adapt to those changes that life is throwing you is what determines whether you're going to be successful or not. You have to have the ability to pivot. And what do I mean by that? So pivoting is similar to adapting. Are you able to take the things you learned in that one career, switch them over to a whole different career? We oftentimes have times where, we thought we were going to be doing this one thing, and we were going to do that one thing for the rest of our lives. And especially now in today's age, you have to be multifaceted, multi-talented, and you still might not be in the same lane. You might change careers multiple times. You might change interests. You might have other passions. So, we all have this idea of what it is that we want to do and what it is that we like to do. But as we get older, those things we might come to find that they're not for us, or that our interests change, our passions change. I'll use myself for an example. I was working, I'm a science guy, I love science. I was working in a lab, and the work I was doing was good, but I started to feel this passion for helping others in a different way. And I did a complete switch up, changed careers, and started pursuing a career in where I get to meet with people and share those experiences that I've had to help them figure out what they would like to do in the future. And I have felt more fulfillment from doing that. So I leave you with this: find multiple interests that you have and explore them. Find other passions. Find anything else that you like and pursue them all. Now, you don't have to pursue them all at the same time, but try to find ways to, pursue your interests and your passions, your hobbies, and all those things, and you will find more fulfillment from doing those things. Try to find more things that give you a sense of purpose. Don't just do something because it'll pay you. I have a lot of friends and things like that, and I've gone through this myself, where you're doing something not only because you're good at it, but because you're seeking a reward from it. And you get into that industry, you get into that area, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. But that just goes to show you that money isn't the end game. It's not what's going to give you that sense of fulfillment at the end of the day. Yeah, you're getting paid. Yeah, you're able to pay for the things that you want to do. But how is it helping you as a person? How is it affecting you as a person? What is it doing to your personality? What is it doing to your relationships with others? What is it doing to how you feel about yourself? So that's where I urge you all to figure out your interests. What makes you feel fulfilled? Not just happy, but what is it that when you're out there doing it, it makes your heart feel like it's full. It makes you feel like you are doing something of real purpose and passion, and pursue it. Chase that down. Don't give up on your dreams, whatever they might be. Keep working, keep grinding. Every little step that you take is purposeful. Every little step that you take is meaningful. There's nothing that you're going to do towards pursuing your future or your dream, whatever you're passionate about, that's going to be considered a waste, as long as it's a good thing to do. There's never going to be a time where you're learning a new skill or you're doing something new that'll help you out that's ever going to be considered a waste. You can take what you know and take it if you have to make that pivot, you take it to a whole different lane. You take your skills to a whole different area. You're never going to waste your time by exploring your interests and passions. You're never going to waste your time by learning something new. You're never going to waste your time by investing in yourself when it comes to chasing your dreams. So that's just a little bit of motivation I wanted to leave with you all. That's kind of what was on my heart, what I was thinking about. I hope it helps somebody. I hope it relates to somebody who's watching. We're going to move on to the next topic. All right, let's talk a little bit of sports now. Over the weekend, the Pacers played the Thunder for Game 2. Thunder got that dub. OKC took care of business. Shea was out there balling, but not only Shea. He finally got his team to play well with him. And by finally, it's only Game 2, but they played exceptionally well. You had Chet bringing in double-digit points. You had Williams bringing in double-digit points. And the surpriser for me, who I think actually might be MVP of the game aside from Shea, is Caruso. Caruso brought in like 20 points off the bench. I don't think I ever heard him having 20 points. So he was having himself a game. Also, Wiggins. Wiggins played well as well, dropping lots of key threes in that game. It seemed like every time the Pacers wanted to make a little comeback, OKC had an answer. And we saw them adjust from game one. They were up by about 18, maybe 20 going into the fourth quarter, leaving no room for a heroic comeback. So that leaves me to ask the question for the Pacers. Is hero ball over? We shall see. It's only game two. Game three is tomorrow, 8:30. I'm excited to watch. Maybe have a surprise episode afterwards, depending on how the game goes. But as far as the Pacers go, Halliburton's got to play better, man. If the Pacers are going to win, Halliburton has got to be more consistent. That was my key going into this finals. You can't have games where you're up and down like this. I know he scored more points this game than he did in game one, but game one was a more total team game for the Pacers, whereas this game, you definitely needed your stars to show up. You needed Pascal to be over 20 points. You needed Halliburton to be over 20 or 30 points. You needed Neesmith or Turner. You needed a big three for this game for a win out of the Pacers, because you knew OKC was going to go home. They were going to lick their wounds. They were going to make adjustments, and they were going to come out firing on all cylinders. And that's exactly what they did. Pretty much the whole game, they were up almost 20. At least for half of the game, they were up 20. And you could just tell by the way that they came out in the beginning that they were ready to grind it out no matter what. So let's see what happens in game three. Series is tied 1-1. I really don't have any predictions, but I will say this. The Pacers need to win game three. They need to win game three. They need to swing the tide. I think that if they don't win game three, the series could be very close to over. They have home court advantage right now, so they really need this win. They also want to take that momentum away from OKC. OKC, they kind of made a statement with this game two win. It was like, okay, you snuck us in that first one, but we got this back. So now we come into your house. And if you the Pacers, you don't want to lose two in a row. You do not want to lose two in a row, because that's just going to snowball and you're not going to win. So I think this game is going to be the most important for the Pacers. If OKC, loses this game, it's okay. They don't want to lose the game, of course, but it's a more important issue for the Pacers. They need game three. So leave a comment down below. Let me know who you think's gonna win game three, and maybe we'll talk about it in that surprise episode. We'll see. All right, on to the Browns. It's a sad day for us here in Cleveland. Our Brownies lost a very important player to us. We got to send a special goodbye to Nick Chubb. He was our star running back for about 7 years here in Cleveland. Did a lot of great things here in Cleveland, and it's just a shame to see him go. To be quite honest with you, I wish the Browns could have figured out a way to keep him here. I wish we could have figured out some way to pay him or whatever it was, but I believe that Nick Chubb should have been a lifelong Cleveland Brown. That's just my opinion. I know this is a business. The league doesn't work that way too much anymore, but man, we are going to miss Nick Chubb. He was a workhorse for us, Pauls. If you needed 5 yards, like I said before, he'd get you 8, maybe even 20. Like, Nick Chubb, probably one of the best running backs we've had here in a long time. And it's just the saddest part about seeing him go is in the last 2-3 years, all the injuries he had to deal with. The main one being that big one against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where, the way his knee bent, I'm just glad he could walk again. Like, after watching that, they don't even show the replays anymore. I don't think you can find it too much anywhere. That injury was devastating, and it was during a year where we had a lot of promise. It looked like we were gonna really do something that year, and we did come close after getting Joe Flacco. But I really wanted Nick Chubb to just be, a part of a winning team. And I think this year we had a real chance of at least getting back to being above 500, especially if he would have remained on the team. So it's sad to see him go. Nick Chubb, if you ever watch this video, I thank you. We thank you. All of Cleveland loves you, and we support you. Going back to my motivational point, this is a pivot for him. I believe Nick started here, at least in his NFL career, and now he's on to another team. So we're cheering you on in spirit. Don't take this personally, but I hope you don't beat us. But if you do get a chance to get into the playoffs where you don't play the Cleveland Browns, I am rooting for you, man. I hope you get a ring. I really wished it was with us, but good luck to the Texans in the coming season. I just hope y'all lose to us. That's all I gotta say. But man, what a great player. What a good guy. All the positive things for Nick Chubb. So, salute to you, sir. Have a great rest of your career. And if you are able to come back, please do. Because we love you here. But giving you all the flowers today. Now it's time to kind of talk about that team that us Clevelanders love to hate. I'm talking about the Steelers. They just signed Aaron Rodgers. And how exciting is that for us? I can't wait to see this particular matchup, which is Myles Garrett versus Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Try to stop him. Try to stop Myles. I dare you. I want to see all the sacks. I hope he gets like 8 sacks a game. Aaron, I don't know what you was thinking by joining the Steelers, but you have just picked one of the hardest divisions in football to join, and have fun, because particularly the Browns twice a year, Myles Garrett, I guarantee you he already had the game circled on the calendar, but he put 10 circles around each game now. He is coming for you. Pause. I'm going to be locked in. I'm watching all of them. I hope, like I said, I hope he gets 8 sacks a game, set a record or something, because this is going to be fun for him, and I can't wait to see our defense and how we decide to attack that matchup. That's all I got to say on that. I don't even like the Steelers. I never have. I have liked certain players, but I'll never admit it. So, we're going to move on. Alright, last topic, I want to talk about a little bit of music. I don't know if I did in the last video or not, but I have a new artist that I am liking. Her name is Heck of a Mecca, and she is out of Akron, Ohio. Shout out to Akron. She was on Timbaland's show last week, and I was tuned in, and man, this girl is fire. She is dope. She actually had a funny moment on there. She was telling Timbaland, yeah, I sing too. And the song came up, and it was a portion where it was just somebody doing a little bit of notes in the song, but not really singing. And Timbo was like, "You call this singing?" And she leaned in and she said, "No." And then she started singing. Oh man, you couldn't time that any more perfect. It blew him away. It blew me away. It blew everybody away who was watching. Pause. This girl is fire. Girl, where you been hiding? Why? I don't know. I don't know how I never heard of you before, but I'm glad I heard of you now, because I am tuned in. Right now, the song that I've been rocking with is called New World, and I'll post a link to it in the description so everybody can check it out. She is fire, I'm telling you. Check her out on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you got. Heck of a Mecca. I'll also put that in the description so you can see. Now, moving on. I gotta talk about this topic. So this has actually been requested from one of my friends. he asked me to talk about my thoughts on Lil Wayne's new album, The Carter 6. And I gotta be honest, at first couple songs, I was getting excited. I was vibing with it. I was like, okay, this is, what we've been looking for. We've been waiting for this. And then it kept going. And I don't know. I don't know exactly how I feel about it right now. I think I need to listen to it a couple more times through. There's definitely some songs that I rock with. Definitely a couple. There's definitely a couple songs where I'm like, this is okay. To me, this album really shouldn't be in the Carter series. And what do I mean when I say that? So when I hear the Carter series, like, I'm thinking about, iconic songs. The track list is almost impeccably put together. Like, very few skips, if any. The continuity, the flow, all of that, song to song, the transitions, there's interludes, and I just didn't get that from this album. I think he went with the Carter 6 to get everybody excited or something like that. But to me, this is more like one of those experimental albums that Wayne does where, he's playing guitar or he's doing some sort of, different style beats and things like that. To me, this album actually should be named closer to something like I'm Not a Human Being or even Rebirth, because there was a song on there where I was like, bro, what beat is this? And that's the biggest thing for me. I think it was the beat selection. If I was, advertising for this or something like that, I would have told Wayne, like, hey man, let's not name this the Carter 6. Like I said, when people hear the Carter, they think of those iconic tracks. And I'm thinking iconic tracks, bass bumping beats, something I can put in the car, crank it all the way up, and you can hear me from down the street. And like, I play this and I don't want you to hear me playing this. So there are some songs that are like that. There are some songs where I'm like, yo, this beat, I can't vibe with the beat. It doesn't get to me in that way, especially when I'm like, yeah, I got the Carter 6 on. I'm not gonna call it bad because when I'm listening to the lyrics and things like that, a lot of the lyrics are still fire. Wayne is still Wayne. He can still spit, but it's just like some of those beats, man. I can't rock with it. I'm sorry, I can't rock with it. Wayne, if you're watching, if you ever watch this, I'm sorry. This was not the greatest hit for me, but that's okay. I think a lot of the songs with the features were good. You did a song where it was Big Sean on there. Big Sean came. Pause. That was crazy. But Big Sean, he went hard on that track. And so I think he did a good job with a lot of the features. There were a couple of standalone songs that I was rocking with too. But for the most part, there was a lot where I'm like, the beat selection could have been better. The continuity of the album as a whole could have been better. I think it could have went from song to song in a different way. I was hoping you'd have like, maybe a song with 2 Chainz on there or something. Just something more reminiscent of the other Carter albums. Now I know a lot of people didn't really like the Carter 5 that much, and I have to respectfully disagree with anybody who didn't like it. I thought the Carter 5 was actually really good. I thought it was very well put together, and it was more reminiscent of what a Carter album should be. And that's kind of what I was looking for with this. I don't like every song on every Carter album, but I can say that the flow of it as an album, as a whole, is good. I can put on the Carter 2, the Carter 3, the Carter 4, the Carter 5, and play it from beginning to end. Even if there's a song where I'm like, I don't really like this song, I can still put it on and let it flow. But with this album, I'd rather listen to this album like on shuffle, and that's not that. And I would still like cut out some songs, and that's just not what I want out of a Carter album. So, like I said before, I think that it really shouldn't even be the title. I think that it should be like I Am Not a Human Being 3 or Rebirth 2 or something like that. But this ain't redo this, bro. You know, I don't know if people remember this, but there was a time when he did the Carter 3, and the Carter 3 is actually like 2 albums because the first one got leaked. Treat this like a leak and give us something else. Or if you drop the deluxe, take out some songs and replace them. Because this wasn't the Carter. Alright, I'm going to close the show on out. I want to say thank you to all my listeners. I've been getting some feedback from you all lately, and I really appreciate it. I try to be open to feedback and things like that. So I thank you to everyone who's been listening. I appreciate all the comments, all the likes. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. And if you are not yet subscribed but you listen, please subscribe. But like I said, I appreciate you all. Thank you all for listening. Oh, before I go, I always got to shout out the good work when it's there. So check this out. This shirt was done by one of my friends. I'm going to have to ask her if it's okay if I throw her in the description as well. But she is a dope artist. I have a couple of her shirts actually. I have this one and I have a Beyonce shirt. And I'm going to do this now, but I need another Beyonce shirt. She'll know what I mean. I need another one. Yeah, we support our friends over here. Everybody trying to do something positive. Everybody trying to do good work. We support it. So I hope everybody has a good evening. I'll catch y'all on the next one.